Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, my students. Today we will discuss the part 2 of Unit 5, State of Matter. It's about what happens when matter is heated or cooled. So the second part of Unit 5, we will discuss about what happens when matter is heated or cooled. Apa yang terjadi ketika materi itu dipanaskan atau didinginkan. So this is about change in state of matter. Perubahan wujud benda. The substance can change in state if it is heated or it is cooled. Jadi benda itu bisa berubah wujudnya kalau dipanaskan, heated, or sometimes we say heat gain, mendapat panas, and cooled, kalau didinginkan, or sometimes we say heat loss, kehilangan panas. Okay, there are some change state of matter that we will discuss. The first is melting, in bahasa mencair. The opposite is freezing, membeku. And then the third is boiling and evaporation, mendidih dan menguap. And then the next condensation, mengembun. Sublimation, menyublim. And then the last deposition, mengkristal. So we will discuss some change state of matter. The first is melting, freezing, and after that boiling, evaporation, condensation, sublimation, and the last deposition. Mencair, membeku, mendidih, menguap, mengembun, menyublim, dan mengkristal. Okay, there are some change in state of matter that we will discuss today. Okay, the first we will discuss about, okay, you can see this is the triangle change of state. Jadi segitiga perubahan wujud. There are three states of matter that we have discussed: liquid, solid, and gas. And then you can see the arrow. Yeah, the arrow is the process of change state of matter. Okay, the first change state of matter that we will discuss is melting, in bahasa mencair. So you can see from the picture where is melting. Look at melting. Look at the arrow, the blue arrow of melting. Blue arrow. Okay, so this is melting, the blue arrow. So you can conclude that melting is the change of state from solid to liquid. From solid to liquid. How it can be changed? By heating. So the solid can change into liquid. The solid can be changed into liquid if it is heated. This is called melting, mencair. Okay, the opposite is freezing. Yeah, freezing. You can see the green arrow. You can see the green arrow. This is green arrow. So from liquid to solid, the green arrow, the head of green arrow, look at. So this is from liquid to solid. So we can conclude that freezing is the change in state from liquid to solid by cooling. So the liquid can be changed into solid if it is cooled. Liquid can change into solid if it is cooled. So melting is the opposite of freezing. Melting from solid state into liquid by heating, and freezing from liquid state into solid by cooling. When the temperature reaches 0 degrees Celsius, the ice start to melt. Jadi ketika suhu itu menunjukkan 0 derajat, es itu mulai mencair. We call this is the melting point of ice. So 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point of ice, adalah titik lebur es. So I can say that 0 degrees Celsius is the melting point of ice because at 0 degrees Celsius the ice start to melt. Then when the temperature reach 0 degrees Celsius, the water start to freeze. The water start to freeze. We call this is the freezing point of water. So at 0 degrees Celsius, the water start to freeze. So I can conclude that 0 degrees Celsius is the freezing point of water. Jadi bisa teacher simpulkan bahwa 0 derajat itu adalah titik beku air. Why? Because the water start to freeze at 0 degree Celsius. So 0 degree Celsius is the melting point of ice and the freezing points of water. Jadi bisa kita sebut 0 derajat itu adalah titik lebur es atau titik beku air. Es mulai mencair melebur pada suhu 0 degree Celsius dan water mulai membeku pada 0 degree Celsius. So I can say 0 degree Celsius is the melting point and also freezing point. You can see the graph here. Okay, this is freezing point and also melting point. So this is the temperature here, 0 degrees Celsius. Look at when the ice start to freeze, when the water start to freeze, so the change here. Jadi water itu mulai membeku, start to freeze, start at 0 degrees Celsius and then continue with the green line. Jadi ditunjukkan sama yang garis hijau ini. Start from here, then continue to here, the temperature. Jadi temperaturnya turun. This is called the freezing point. So the water start to freeze at 0 and then the temperature will decrease, akan turun temperaturnya. How about the ice start to melt or melting point? So this is start from here. Jadi dimulainya dari sini juga. We call this is the melting point of ice. Titik lebur es. Start from 0 and then continue the temperature increase. Continue by the blue line. Jadi suhunya naik. Okay, look at this, the temperature. Jadi temperaturnya dari sini turun and then increase. So when we talk about the freezing points of water, titik beku air here, ya, tetap di sini in the red line, and then the temperature decrease. Nanti suhunya turun, jadi airnya jadi tambah beku. Different with the melting point of ice, titik lebur es, berarti the ice start to melt. So here, still in red line, the melting point of ice at 0 degrees Celsius and then the temperature increase. Suhunya naik, jadi suhunya tambah panas. And then the ice will melt. It start from 0. This is the explanation of this graph. So that you have to remember the melting points of ice is similar to the freezing points of water at 0 degree Celsius. And then the next change of state, still look at the picture here, boiling and evaporation. Look at boiling and evaporation. Boiling and evaporation, it has the same change in state. Perubahan wujudnya sama. Can see the picture here, boiling, evaporation too, ya. Jadi when the process of changing it from liquid into gas by heating, dengan cara dipanaskan, we call this is boiling and also evaporations. Jadi we can say the process is boiling or evaporation. What is the difference? Apa sih bedanya? What is the difference between boiling and evaporations? Okay, boiling, look at. So we can say the change in state from liquid into gas is boiling if it is happen at the boiling point. Jadi kalau suhunya itu menunjukkan titik didih 100 degrees Celsius, we call this is boiling the process. But for evaporation, it happen at any temperature. Jadi bedanya mendidih dan menguap, boiling and evaporation. Boiling happen at the boiling point, 100 degrees Celsius, and then evaporation happen at any temperature. Terjadi pada suhu yang lain, under 100 degree Celsius, di bawah 100 derajat Celsius. We said evaporations. But the state is same, the change of state is same from liquid into gas. And then the next change states is condensation. This is the opposites of boiling and evaporation. Jadi kebalikannya boiling dan evaporation. The change state, look at this. Look at the green arrow. So, look at the green arrow and the head. Lihat kepalanya. So we can know the process. So this is from gas into liquid. The change of state condensation from gas into liquid, of course by cooling. Jadi dari gas menjadi cairan dengan cara didinginkan. We say this is the process is condensation, pengembunan. Okay. The condensation happen because water vapor contact with cooler object. Jadi, kok bisa terjadi pengembunan? Bagaimana? Ada uap air, the water vapor contact with cooler object dengan benda yang lebih dingin. Jadi, uap air menyentuh benda yang lebih dingin, dia akan menjadi titik-titik air that we said a dew. Kita sebutnya embun. Jadi, condensation happen because of water vapor contact with cooler object. You can see the picture here. This is the examples of condensation. Jadi this is okay. You can see the water droplet ya, titik-titik air. This is come from the water vapor. Jadi dia berasal dari water vapor, uap air di sekitarnya. Because the bottle is cool karena dia sangat dingin. So when the water vapor touch the bottle, the temperature decrease. Suhunya jadi turun because this is cooler object. So it be the water droplet. Jadi jadinya titik-titik air. So because of water vapor around the bottle touch the bottle that is cool, so it be the water droplet. Jadi pengembunan itu terjadi ketika ada udara di sekitarnya itu menyentuh benda yang lebih dingin. We say this is condensation. And then the next change of state is sublimation, menyublim. Okay, you can see sublimation, the green arrow. So this is from solid into gas. Solid into gas, of course, the process by heating. The solid can be changed into gas if it is heated. Dipanaskan. And then the opposite is deposition. Mengkristal, lawannya mengkristal. Okay, deposition, look at the blue arrow. So this is from gas into solid state. Jadi gas langsung berubah jadi padatan by cooling. So this is the opposites of sublimation. Sublimation menyublim from solid into gas, and then deposition from gas into solid. Can see the picture. This is of the examples of sublimation. Sublimation from solid into gas without liquid state ya. Jadi tidak ada perubahan jadi liquid. Jadi dia langsung from solid into gas. This is you can see the examples of sublimation. This is dry ice. Jadi ini es kering. Es kering itu dari solid dia langsung berubah jadi gas. Okay, this is sublimation. And then for deposition, from deposition, this is the gas into solid. Jadi gasnya langsung berubah jadi padatan. This is can be seen by this example. Water vapor can freeze at night and become frozen plant. Jadi langsung berubah jadi titik-titik es ya, titik-titik es, padatan es. This is of course happen in the very cold area. di tempat yang sangat dingin. Okay, my student, that's all for today. We have finished to discuss about change of state of matter. Now you can do your task, page 75 up to 76. For the next part of change state of matter, jadi masih ada bagian yang ketiga. We will continue next week. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.